to you live from Veraldis Baptist Church. We're waiting on YouTube to start publishing, and then we'll get started. Have a really fun game in mind for us all. Well, mainly for me. You're right. Josh is right. YouTube is ready and live and ready to go. So, like I was telling Instagram, we are about to start a game. As soon as Chris gets back, I have to go get it and set it up. All these guys just kind of talk to you and maybe even explain the game. So,
yeah, I can do that.
Alright, so sorry for that extra feedback. Mute this. Sorry. Again, that's supposed to me trying to mute.
There you go.
Alright, we gotta fix something. Welcome. Hey Emma. Kristen's here. These guys are gonna explain to you the game that we're about to play.
I have no clue what's happening.
As usual.
As usual.
There we go, YouTube. Instagram.
That's Instagram.
I'm making that mistake again.
We all have water bottles here.
I'm gonna just be like Jim from The Office and just like.
Just can't.
Alright. Y'all explain to them the game. I'm gonna go get everything.
So what we're playing is pretty much not fun for any of us sitting here, only fun for Kevin. We're gonna be blindfolded. He's got a assortment of different foods or edible things, hopefully they're edible, that we are going to taste while we're blindfolded, and we have to try to guess what it is. None of us here know what Kevin bought, what he has. What's
Should
your
we put
question?
our blindfolds on before he comes
No,
back?
no. Well, I guess so because.
No, I have a question.
I was gonna say if like you were blindfolded, do we still have to be blindfolded?
Yes, we're all tasting
all
it
the time.
at the same time.
But then I was like, well, Kev's gonna bring all of it at the same time.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and put our blindfolds on.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
All right, now I will when
because
Kev
Kevin's
walks
got to
in.
bring
You
the stuff
can't bring
in.
it in, you'll see it.
Kev, tell me when you have to.
So we're gonna put our blindfolds on now, and Kevin will be back shortly.
We're just gonna sit here with blindfolds on while you stare at us.
Hashtag bird box.
Don't be cheating.
Put
Put it on!
And Kevin's gonna show you guys what
Yes.
he's feeding us before he does. So that way
Noah's
you know
not
what it
putting it
is.
on.
Noah.
No, I know you're doing something. I just feel you near me. He's taking pictures because we're all in blindfolds and he's not.
Are you at the door?
What's taking so long? Okay, maybe we should have the blindfolds on.
So
And other
while we
news
wait,
for
this
today.
is funny for you guys.
Yeah.
Is Ethan coming for his shout out today? If he is, I can't tell, but if he's on there, hey Ethan.
Ethan Bickford, where does he live at in Florida?
I don't know.
All the way in the
Beach.
Sunshine State.
Put your blindfold on.
I'm waiting on Kevin to get back.
If he brings the food in, you will see it. Put the blindfold on.
Last time I was blindfolded, it did not go well.
Side note, guys, we have a lot of fun doing these things for you. It's
No, we don't.
hilarious.
Did anybody bring gum?
I have gum in my
I
bag.
have a feeling we're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Where's...
I don't know.
That's the joke. There's no food. Kevin just left. He wants us to sit there with blindfolds on the whole
That
time.
would be absolutely great, but I don't think it is.
That's the joke. So, Bruce over here.
This is the easiest way.
No, that was too tight.
Are we doing questions again at the end?
Sure, why not? Do
That's
you have
fine.
questions?
Yeah, if you have questions, guys, we haven't gotten many questions over the past 3 weeks that we've done this.
Only the first one.
So if you have any questions that you would like us to answer, that are either relevant to what we're talking about or to the devotion that we've been doing, or just something that you want to know about us, you can type it in text one of us, on one of our phones. But yeah, we'll be happy to try and answer them to the best of our ability.
You should have worn a man bun with that again.
I should have.
Brandon was at home to fix it.
Yeah, I know. That's the.
I don't have a hair bow on me. I feel like somebody should check on Kevin.
As somebody no.
We can use these as hair bows.
True. I don't feel it
Should
would
Josh
work.
have a man bun? Yay or nay?
Let's take a vote.
Is there
It is possible now. It's long enough.
Yes.
Oh.
Ah,
Okay.
put it
Wait.
I'm not bringing them in yet.
You
No.
took
Oh,
literally
okay.
forever.
You
What
took
is
a
the
while.
deal?
Yeah, because I had an accident.
Oh,
What happened?
One of the creatures got away.
Ha
Ha
ha.
ha ha.
It's a bug.
It's a bug.
Is it a
could
bug?
be a chocolate covered bug.
If it was the bug, I would.
I'm not eating a bug.
Sorry. Alright.
This
I
isn't
got
gonna
some
go
napkins
well.
for y'all.
What?
This isn't
In
gonna
case
go
you
well.
want, in case you feel like you need to spit it up.
Gives me the throw up.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Brianna will laugh.
How are you gonna see it?
Brave will laugh is behind.
I'll die
Please
whoever it
keep
is.
your blindfolds on at all times.
Abby's Creedle says
Alright.
yes to the man bun.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. That's
Alright.
fine.
Yes, Abby.
Y'all ready?
We need to make
No.
that happen.
YouTube, Instagram, we all ready? We got here Garrett. Oh, everyone's there. YouTube, y'all ready?
Stop. Wait.
Put your blonde.
Hold on.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring in one dish at a time,
Okay.
Oh.
just because I don't want y'all to peek. I'm gonna make sure all y'all are.
One dish.
Josh, move your leg.
What?
I want to be close to the table so I can spit it out. It's on my lap.
Come on.
Where are you?
Ow.
Put your blindfold
Can you
on.
wait, Mama?
No.
No, you're getting on.
Blindfold on.
Can you scoot over?
Your first dish.
I cannot actually.
Alright.
I feel like Noah's gonna chew.
Come on, Noah.
the entire time.
Alright. What I'm gonna need y'all to do. Alright. I'm gonna start with Josh. I'm gonna start with Josh and we can go down the line.
Am I
Okay?
gonna? Do I have to wait to guess?
Yeah, wait to guess.
Until we've all had it.
Until you all had it, okay? So try not to make any noises, okay, Josh? Hold out your hand.
Stop! I know what you're doing now.
Oh
Where are you feeding it to us? Don't feed it. I don't
I'm not
want to
feeding it to you.
Okay, good.
Don't.
I don't want somebody to feed me.
Just so you guys know what it is.
Shut up.
Alright. Alright, Brianna, hold your hand out.
Oh, why?
Hold your hand out.
I'm
YouTube, this is.
Oh,
Did Josh make a guess?
do I have
No, not yet.
Did you actually try it?
Yes, he did try
Oh, I
it.
don't like it. Stop!
No.
No. Did he actually try it?
Yes, he actually tried it.
Pinky swear.
Is
He
it
did,
in
I
your
promise,
hand,
I'm not.
A pinky promise.
Is it in your hand?
Oh, Pinky promised me. Yes. I haven't tried it yet. I'm
Is it
scared.
slimy?
Why am I last? I
No, you
wanted
can't
to
tell
go
anybody or
first.
can't say what you
Okay, I
think
think
it
I
is.
know what that is.
I wish I
can't do
would have
any
gone
guesses.
first.
Yes.
Not yet. Not yet.
This is how I felt when I got my tattoo. I'm like, just
What?
get it over
Alright.
with.
This is freaky.
Once you've tried it, you can take your blindfold off so you can see. I don't have all the other.
Wait,
questions
we're
yet.
supposed to guess though.
Oh, yes, right. You have
Sure,
to
don't
guess.
do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Come on, Kevin.
My
Sure.
bad. My bad.
I think
Right.
this is gonna
If
be.
it moves, I'm slapping it out of your hand. I'm just saying right now.
Don't say anything
Mhm.
or. Don't say anything. Hold your hand out. Both hands. I don't want you to drop it.
I'm certainly happy. Why'd you have to start with this?
I knew what it was as soon as he put it on.
Well,
Really?
All right, on the count of three. Let's see what y'all got. What y'all think it is? What does the panel think it is?
It's a
Down
donut.
three.
Are we all saying it?
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
All of
It's-
us?
It's like one of those
It's a donut.
Like
from
a.
like the swirly blueberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it
Can we
is.
take our
So-
blindfold
it.
off now?
yeah, you can take your blindfold off. You can take a look at it.
Yes.
Oh, just
Yeah.
the feeling freaked
Pretty
me
good.
out. It was like all
Who got that
blurry.
point?
Huh?
Yeah, that's what
Who
I
got
was
that
thinking.
point?
I was
That's
like,
what-
and it's
Well,
cold.
are we
I'm
on?
like,
Yeah.
All right, are you ready for plate number 2? There's 4
No,
plates.
fine. I gotta double
There's
check.
4 plates.
It's only gonna go downhill from here.
Oh, Brandon can't even account for the insulin from what
It's okay. I planned on like
Okay.
figuring it out
Oh!
afterwards.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right,
You need to excuse yourself afterwards.
all right, Noah. All right,
Well,
all right. You guys are going to get a sneak peek of everything that He's shy.
Stop touching me! Is it?
What are you doing? Don't away from me.
I feel like he's gonna throw a curveball and have like the worst one next.
I'm gonna have no message.
Stop! Ew, he touched my mouth. Noah.
Noah.
What noise was that?
Blindfold on,
I meant to
Noah.
touch your nose.
Blindfold
Put
on.
your blindfold
I
on.
meant to touch your nose, but my trimmer's ended up.
Alright, here we go. Blindfolds on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Noah,
I don't know
let's
about
start with you.
Noah.
Yes.
We'll start with Noah this time. Please put your blindfold on. That's why I left that actual hanging thing down. Like, let it hang down a little bit.
What hang
So you
down?
can't see it.
Don't worry about it.
Because he can see
Don't be cheating.
Alright.
I'm not.
This one I'm going to have to feed to you.
No.
What?
Believe me. Believe me.
Why?
Why are you freaked out?
Hold your hand out.
It's
Hold your
like
hand out.
freaking
Like,
When Noah touched my
Don't
lips,
touch
it
Jessica's
freaked
skin. That's not
out.
fun. That's
I
not
don't
fun.
like it.
Fine. That's fine too. We'll just do it that way. Alright.
Whatever. No.
What
Is
is
it on
it?
a utensil?
It's on a utensil. I promise.
Can you hand me the
I wanna
utensil?
feel
I
it.
cannot.
Keely's doing dishes, then she's coming.
Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. You ready?
Let me touch it.
This makes me nervous.
No, you can't touch it.
No.
This one you can't touch. Believe
No.
me.
I don't want to go first.
Open your
You
mouth.
just said you wanted to.
Go.
Wider. It's not gonna fit. Come on. Here we go.
All right.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
No,
Alright.
it is.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Alright, Kristen.
Can I open? Oh,
No,
wait,
you
no.
can't.
No, you have
Open
to
on
guess.
Here we go. Sorry,
Stupid.
YouTube. I don't want to get in your way. But here we go. Open. Okay. Alright, Randy. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. You gotta try it.
Oh, it smells bad.
It's not bad.
Right, I think I know what it is by the smell.
Oh, gosh.
Ew, it
I know what that is. Oh my god.
Ugh.
stinks.
Alright.
It's in my nose. Why did you give us so much? It's like giant bites. Can we take them off? Or are you waiting for
Oh,
Josh?
yes.
Oh, God.
Alright. Alright, guys, what do y'all think it is?
Sauerkraut.
It is sauerkraut.
God.
Look how much you like still in the mouth.
Is that you or Kristen that choked?
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, Alabama.
Uh,
My nose is burning.
Alright, here we go. Blindfolds on. Blindfolds
Why?
on. Alright.
Why me?
Okay, here we go. Blindfolds on. Next up.
Hold on.
Sorry, gotta wait for these guys.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
hold on. I need
gross.
some water after
Oh,
that.
God.
That was disgusting.
No! Don't eat my donut.
Oh.
This is my favorite kind.
Really?
Yes.
Choke on it.
Alright,
Alright. Oh, gosh.
here we go.
Just
You
not
ready?
so
Even
much.
from like Krispy Kreme?
Well, they make this kind. That is a Krispy Kreme kind, right? The blueberry coolers. Delicious.
Hey, guess what
I'm
Kristen's
learning it.
guess what Kristen's favorite villain is? The choker.
Alright. This is another one I'm gonna have to feed you.
Ugh.
No, that was awful.
That was not so much this time. Gosh.
I'm not gonna talk.
It's like
Okay.
he had a
I'll go first.
He had a shrimp.
Josh gets to go.
Stop.
No, we'll make Kristen go first this time. She had the best
Yeah.
She had the best
Then he's
reaction.
not gonna go first.
You have to feed me?
Yep, feed you.
Oh
Open
my
up.
gosh, now I'm
Open up.
scared.
Open. Don't make any sounds, even if it's a gag reflex. Don't do that, okay?
Hurry up!
Don't make any sound. There will be no sound. Alright. Brianna, you're up. Brianna, you're up.
The sauerkraut is overtaking
Girl,
all
swallow.
smells.
Oh.
I know what that is.
Alright, here we go. Josh. Here we go.
I like scrape the top of my mouth.
He's trying to get you to gag. He's trying to. Oh, excuse me, Purple!
Ed.
Still has our
Good job, Brave!
Oh,
High
yes.
five!
Alright, here we go. Noah, you're the last one. What do you think this
I
is?
was gonna give him a high five.
I don't know.
Oh, see? I told you I wasn't going to be that bad.
I know
So what is it? What do y'all think it is?
Rainbow
Wait,
chip icing.
Frosting.
Rainbow chip frosting, that's right. Good job.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we
Good
leave them
job.
on or we take them off?
Alright. Alright, guys.
Is it good you said?
Last one. I told you there's only one bad one. No, that was the only bad one. That was the only bad one.
The
Sauerkraut
sauerkraut?
was the only bad one.
Oh, okay.
You're lying.
I'm not.
Chris, that made me laugh and the
I'm
sauerkraut
not.
went up my nose.
Right.
And
Right, here we go.
Matters.
Blindfolds on, last one.
John,
Last one, here we go.
Bandana smells like sauerkraut now.
Yep.
It barely touched my tongue and I was just like, ugh.
Alright, here we go. The last one.
Stop talking. Everybody stop talking.
Alright, blindfolded.
Oh, it smells
Sadly, this is another one I'm gonna have to feed you.
Oh my
They've
god.
all
what's the
three.
deal?
Actually, I might let you hold this. No, I can't let Noah hold it because he's cheating.
No, I'm not. Look, I'll do this.
What?
Okay, well then I can't see your mouth. Alright. So Brianna, you get to go first this time.
Yay.
Remember, no sounds. Please don't make any sounds.
I'll
I'm gonna let you. okay.
What am I doing?
That's fine. Open up.
Oh.
Open up. You just take a bite. It's on the fork. So.
Oh my god, it's just.
It's not that bad. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright,
Oh,
Josh, you're up. You're up, Josh.
No.
Wait, make Kristen
Is it
go
worse
last.
than the sauerkraut? Is it worse?
It's not. I don't know why. They serve this at restaurants.
What?
That
Kristen,
can
open
be a
up.
lot of things.
I'm really
Open up.
scared.
Open it. Whoa.
Oh,
I can't eat a napkin.
I just spit it out.
Alright, Noah. Alright. You have to open it up, dig in
Yeah.
that.
I got a guess.
Don't guess yet. No one has to go.
Mm-mm.
Alright, what's y'all's guess?
Tofu.
It is tofu!
Cooked.
So?
Are we done?
Yes, that's the last one.
gosh.
That was
I told you just to take a bite.
It's
Tasted
cold
like
and wet
raw
and
pumpkin.
spongy,
It was
and it
gross.
tastes like
Yeah.
nothing.
It
It
tasted
tastes
like
like
raw pumpkin.
nothing.
But it was
That's
the
the
texture was
weirdest
just
thing.
awful.
That was great.
Just like, did you get the like? Did you
Ugh.
zoom in on this so
I
they
did.
could see? That's disgusting. That's awful.
People actually eat that?
Well,
They're
that
supposed to
is
cook it.
the game. I don't know what y'all named it, but it was hilarious.
Gosh, sauerkraut was definitely the worst one though.
Eat the frosting, diabetes.
I don't need it.
Pass it.
My mouth was on that.
Alright, guys.
True,
Well-
come on.
That was
Oh my gosh.
that was fun on all accounts. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that.
No, I'll probably eat it then.
Your mouth is on it.
Alright,
Okay,
so
my mouth was on a spoon.
Why is it? Dang.
You gave it to Noah?
He was gonna eat hers, so I figured he wanted it the most. Sorry.
alright, so we're gonna start a little bit of worship now if y'all good. Y'all need anybody need to go to the
Can
bathroom?
I have another napkin?
Yes. Yes.
Did you eat that whole piece of tofu?
Well, yeah,
That's
12
something
minutes.
I needed to eat.
Wiped it with the Band-Aid.
You wiped it with my bandana?
Well, it was. I didn't want.
These are
You
my
wiped it with
face
my
mask.
bandana?
Well, I
You
got
could
sauerkraut.
have told me.
Well, I was trying to hurry up and get it. 'Cause
All right.
it was really noticeable.
What y'all think? Instagram, YouTube, y'all like that?
That'd be
Like, fun?
brutal.
I love it.
Gross.
I thought it was hilarious.
The sauerkraut.
Hey, Abby
is
Cradle.
awful.
Keep playing the piano. I'm proud of you.
Is Ethan watching?
He just said, "Oh shoot, joining," because I said, "Don't forget the live stream." That was
All right.
12 minutes ago. So
Oh,
hopefully
well,
he's
then
on.
hey, Ethan.
Shout out to Ethan Bigger.
If he's there.
If it's there. I wanna know.
See? It's a good song.
I've been singing that ever since. Yeah.
Number one.
Number one.
Number one.
What?
On Halloween.
Is this
I took it down
how we
one.
post?
I took it down one for practice.
Why would you do that? I guess however you
YouTube
put
is
it.
frozen
I
up
thought
on
it
us.
sounded lower.
Sorry, guys.
What happened?
Y'all doing
Hold on.
which one are we doing first?
Finding those
Okay, that's fine. I got it.
Do we need to
It's
wait
water.
to
No,
start?
no, y'all go for it.
Sorry.
I gotta figure this out.
That sauerkraut is just.
Stop.
All right, girls.
You ate
We're
it?
still on
Lead the
Instagram.
way. Yeah, we're still on Instagram.
I ate the
Step
tofu.
out the way for a minute.
It really did taste like nothing.
That's what I
That
was
the
like,
freakiest part. I was
oh.
like, is this cheese? What is this? It's like,
It tasted like raw pumpkin.
how do you know what raw pumpkin tastes like?
You know when something has such a distinct smell, you can almost taste it?
All right, I got YouTube fixed. We're good now.
It gave me the sensation that I get when I'm like, that's pumpkin.
Alright, let's pray in. Dear God, thank you for this. Thank you for whoever is watching. Thank you for the fun, disgusting stuff we just had. I pray that now we'd enter into a time of worship, a time of listening, and also a time of responding. So, dear Lord, I pray you'd be with us. Pray you'd be with those watching, even all the way to Ethan in Florida. I pray just you let your spirit work. And we would let you have your way in Jesus' name. Amen.
Darkest night, when my faith is weak, you're still by my side. You will never stop fighting for me. You will never stop fighting for me.
In the perfect timing, you make all things right. You paint a silver lining in this heart of mine. When the going gets tough and my strength's not enough, I see you showing up like never before. This battle for my heart, you took on from the start. You are the peace when my mind's at war. And oh, you will never stop fighting for me. When I can't fight for myself, every word is a promise you keep. 'Cause you love me like nobody else. You stand up for me in the darkest night. When my faith is weak, you're still by my side. You will never stop fighting for me. You will never stop fighting for me. Your love winning me over. Your heart is pulling me closer. Your love is winning me over. Your heart is pulling me closer. You will never stop fighting for me, fighting for me.
You will never stop fighting for me. When I can't fight for myself, every word is a promise you keep. 'Cause you love me like nobody else. You stand up for me in the darkest night. When my faith is weak, you're still by my side. You will never stop fighting for me. You will never stop fighting for me.
This next song, Abby Creedle actually showed to me for the first time, and it's called Another in the Fire, and it's about a story most of you have probably heard in the Bible about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and I meant to pull up the verse, but I forgot. But when they were thrown in the fiery furnace, the king said, didn't we just throw 3 people in there? And they said, well, there's a 4th. And they came out of the fire not even smelling like smoke. So the whole idea of this song is that Jesus is with us. When we obey him and when we're surrendered to him and when we're willing to do anything for him, he's right there the whole time. Even though we're in a fire or we're in a stormy sea, he's there. And it's just, this song is really good, so just listen to the words.
thank you so much, Lord. And we understand that there's nothing that's going to stand between us, Lord. Even with this sickness going around, we understand that there's nothing that separates us from you. So God, as we dig into your word, as we talk about doubt, Lord, as we lift up your name, I pray, Lord, that you would get the glory at the end of this. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, I hope Ethan's still on. See if we can pull him back up. Kind of talking with him a little bit about this subject that we've been on.
Never eat sauerkraut, then try to sing. And if you do, well, good luck, Charlie.
I don't know what that's about, but
Thank you, Noah.
so all right.
Ethan on there?
I don't know. Let's see. Ethan Bigford.
Is he on there?
He is on here. He is on here. Let's see. So we can pull him up. There we go, guys. Waiting for Ethan Bigford.
I guess.
I thought it was somebody there. I was like,
Me too.
yeah.
We're waiting.
Hurry up, Ethan.
Oh, there he is.
There's the ceiling.
What's up,
What's
dude? What's up? Say hey to everybody. What's up?
What's happening?
There's YouTube right there. You can say hey to YouTube and zoom in on you. See if they can see you. Anybody?
What up, YouTube?
You and Josh have matching hair.
You guys rocking some Hillsong over there.
Yeah, you know, we try sometimes. So how's Florida? What's up? Whoa, is that twins?
That's what I said.
That's twins?
Long
When they
hair
said
over
to
there.
be like Jesus, they didn't mean the guy who played Jesus. They actually meant Jesus. So
Dude, look at this.
That's crazy.
is that quarantine haircut or is that like are you getting a hair?
I don't know. It was about this long.
I know. You're just like trying to keep it up here.
I don't know if I call it quarantine haircut, but yeah, how are things going over there?
Pretty good. We're on
I
lockdown.
see you guys been doing drive-in church on Sundays.
Yeah. That's been interesting. And
Right on,
pretty fun.
right on.
Yeah. So what are y'all live streaming service? No. This.
Lame.
Um.
No, we've been doing pre-recorded stuff, so
Oh, okay.
everything is pre-recorded throughout the week,
That's
and
pretty
then
cool.
it gets compiled and edited. That way all the staffers and everybody involved can still watch it on Sundays with their families.
That's pretty cool.
So that's how we've been doing things. Yeah, I haven't been able to participate yet, but who knows? Maybe.
All right.
We've got hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, so I'm sure there's plenty of people in my
Oh,
city
yeah.
that haven't gotten to be in a, you know. But
Here's my thing though.
they cut it. We've got.
YouTube probably.
I really want to understand.
YouTube probably.
What are you
What's
wearing?
going on?
Is that just like a blanket?
It's a blanket. It's a blanket.
The dude's got no shirt
I'm
on
all
right now.
blanketed up. Yeah, I've got my shirt on, so I gotta blanket up.
He is in Florida and he's got a blanket
Yeah.
on.
It's also 70 and Brina's wearing a jacket.
And
That's
it
true.
is-
Diabetes.
But yeah, she's got an excuse.
Yeah,
I'm in my condo, so.
Oh, okay. A condo that you own, by the way, right?
Who commented?
Yeah,
A condo.
Oh,
I
nice.
love that thing.
Yeah.
Bought that thing.
So yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Hold on. Can I flip the camera? Yeah. Got my little music set up over
Oh
here.
wow, it's nice. I don't know if y'all can see it.
I'm all set up, man.
Sweet.
Oh, I already flipped it back. But you guys been doing this every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, you gotta check out the Chubby Bunny video.
Yeah.
So
This is the 4th week, right?
Chubby Bunny.
we played Chubby Bunny. Did you watch us? Did you watch us do the sauerkraut?
What's
You put marshmallows in your mouth and you see how many you can fit in.
And then you say
And then
chubby.
you have to say
You have to say
Chubby
Chubby
Bunny.
Bunny. So yeah,
Josh won.
Josh won. The panel has 10. His 10's it.
Jumbo marshmallows or the little ones?
Jumbo.
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 Jumbos, yes.
So yeah.
Nice.
Okay, maybe we should talk about something real because YouTube.
All right, yeah, all right. So we're going to we gotta talk to YouTube now. Otherwise we'll get kicked off. Actually, we won't get kicked off because we're that cool. But good seeing you. Check you out. Check you later.
It's good being on.
Yeah. All right.
Bye, Ethan.
Bye.
See ya.
Hi.
Click the X, I think.
Hi.
All right, we're back to we're gonna dive into our word for the day or for the service. Real quick, I don't know if they announced it to you, but we are doing a Bible app. On the Bible app, we're doing this thing called Creation. Did y'all talk about that?
Nope.
No, we didn't.
What?
Sorry.
I didn't talk about that.
No.
No,
What
we
do you
talked
mean?
about the game.
We were actually
said
blindfolded for
explain
most
the
of the time that you were gone.
Oh, I gotta go back and watch that.
I thought we were
But,
talking about.
we're doing a creation devotion on the Bible app, and I invite everyone if you want to join, you can message me. I'll send you the link. YouTube, if you don't have the Bible app and you just still want to watch this, I saved the link on my profile. Well, not on this one, but I'll get it to you. So just text me, message me in some way, get in contact with me, and I will definitely let you guys in on that app on the devotion. It's going to be really good, and yeah. So just remember that, and we're gonna dive in. I'm gonna put this phone down because it's killing my arm holding that junk up. So, Crystal, I see you. If we get a second at the end, we'll definitely talk with our babysitter. So that's great. All right, so
Comment on Instagram.
Do you want to
yeah.
put that in front of us?
She needs something?
Yeah. Does she need something? Is the kids okay?
I'm sure the kids.
What'd she say?
Oh, she said
She's just requesting a video to be going.
Oh, the kids could be on there. Everybody probably wants to see. Yeah.
True.
No. We gotta do this devotion. We want
do it at the end.
if we have time at the end. That's what I just said. Come on. We've been talking this past 5 days.
He snorted.
He's snorting over here.
It's a sauerkraut. So these past 5 days, we've been going over a devotion called "Living with Doubt" with Andy Mineo, and Andy Mineo is kind of like talking to us about this idea of doubt in a Christian's walk, and I'm pretty sure he never talked about doubting Thomas, did he?
He didn't.
Mm-mm.
He didn't. Like a lot of people, when they talk about doubt in a Christian's walk, they always talk about doubting Thomas and doubting Thomas. But honestly, like he didn't. That's pretty impressive.
I think there was a reason for that because, when we think about doubt, like you said, we think of doubting Thomas, and that was a bad form of doubt. He was doubting the power of Jesus and the power of God to be able to raise Jesus from the dead. But this whole devotion, it kind of changed the idea that people have about doubt. It's that doubt isn't necessarily a bad thing. That we have doubt. It's only a bad thing when we let that doubt control our lives. When we have doubt, what we're supposed to do is do whatever we can to get rid of it, and to let that doubt grow our faith and our relationship with God. When we have those doubts, in our spiritual walk, we're supposed to bring those doubts to God, present them before Him, and let Him answer the questions that we're having doubts about. And that pretty much summed up the whole thing. So I'm just kidding.
Well,
I guess we have time to bring Crystal on. It's true though. There's let's take it to you guys. What do y'all? Is there something about doubt that stood out to you this week while reading devotion?
I think the fact that he showed doubt, we always think of it as a negative thing. Like, he made a really, really good point that if a Christian ever shows doubt, then it makes others perceive them as weak in their faith. And I think that was such a great thing that he just threw out the window, because now if you have doubt, like Josh said, you need to get rid of it. But how do we do that? You go read in his word. Like, if you're doubting that God could help you overcome XYZ, like, there's so many Bible stories about people overcoming certain obstacles in their lives. So I think finding answers to those doubts, and if there is no answer, which sometimes there just isn't, then replacing that doubt with faith in God and saying, okay, God, I don't know how this is going to turn out, and I don't have an answer, but I'm trusting in you that your way is going to happen, your will is going to happen, and you're going to keep me safe, and something positive is going to come out of this. So just taking that doubt, and I mean, if you're doubting, then that means there's a chance for you to grow. And so I think maybe having doubt isn't such a bad thing. It's just, what are you going to do with it? Like Josh said, don't let it control your life. But one devotional I really, really liked, I think it was day 3 or something, but it talked about failing, or the fear of failing is often the source of our self-doubt. And I think, we're scared to fail because we're doubting either our abilities or God's abilities to use us. And just one sentence, I know a couple of you guys that are doing the devotion, it stuck out to you as well. It says, failure is an event, not an identity. And that is so, so huge, because people will fail at something or think they're going to fail at something and don't even try. And they carry that baggage with them the rest of their life. And they will never go anywhere near whatever that thing is they failed at, or thought they were going to fail at. They won't go anywhere near that whatsoever. Like, it could be relationships, or it could be education. Like, I'm not going to college because I didn't do so good in high school and I failed a class. Like, don't let that control your life. It's just something that happened. It's not something that has to continue to happen for the rest of your life. That's where testimony comes into place. Like, something that, let's say you didn't do good in high school, but you go to college and you have faith that God's going to bring you through it. Like, that's a testimony that you get through college, and he got you through that. So don't not give God the opportunity to use you as a testimony that could help somebody else who's going through the same thing.
Yeah, it's true. We like to hide from those things that scare us, and doubt is one of those things that we're hiding from, or reason why we hide is because we doubt ourselves in those things, in those situations. Let's see, what was it? I used to play baseball a lot. I grew up playing baseball, and my whole life was about baseball. And but for one whole year, I struck out. Like, I don't think I ever hit the ball one time. I got walked a few times, but I never really hit the ball. And I was just like, the next year, I told my parents I didn't want to play baseball because I doubted myself if I could ever hit a ball again. And they didn't force me to. They let me take a season off, and then I jumped back into it. And that I still had that when I went up to the plate, but I ended up being the best hitter on our team. I had the best average on our team, and I was just one of those things. You can't let doubt keep you from doing something that you love to do. Which was my case. That's what I did. I stopped playing a whole season just because. So don't let doubt run your life. Don't let it do it, because it's a lie. I mean, it's just like fear.
Yeah. He my favorite day, it might have been the same day as the one you quoted from, but he gave an example of having to walk across this rickety bridge to test to do this zip lining thing. And he was connected to a harness, but the bridge was not safe looking, and it was a long fall, underneath. But he said what gave him the courage to go was knowing that he was attached to that harness, and if he did fall or he did take a bad step, it would catch him. And I just thought that was a really good comparison to God. And we still have to do that walking across the bridge, and we still have to take that step of faith. But just to know that he is there, that if we do fall, he's going to catch us, because, we're doing what we're supposed to do. We have faith. That doesn't mean you don't have faith. And going off what Kevin said, don't let your fear or your doubt, freeze you there to where you just don't move at all. let that push you to take that step of faith and just allow God to be that harness for you. I thought that was a really good visual.
For me, the devotion that stood out to me is day 4. We talked about doubt of others, and of course it was that Gandhi quote that really got to me. Is that I like your Christ, I do not like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. And for those of you watching who are going around and acting not like a Christ, this is directed at you. This is something. What infuriates me, not Gandhi doesn't infuriate me. The quote being true infuriates me, and it makes me angry towards other Christians who are walking around and calling themselves Christians, but participating in worldly activities, participating in the worldly things. And the song we sang, "Another in the Fire," like it's related to that. It says, I won't serve these things of this world. Yet we sing that song, we may say those things, but then we go out and do it in our actions. And that's what Gandhi was talking about. I don't like your Christians because I don't mind your Christ. I just don't like your Christians. And, the followers of Christ are really supposed to be an extension of who He is. And I don't see that in the world. I don't see that in our nation. I don't see that in this generation and the generation behind and the generation before me. I don't see Christ followers. I don't care if you're a boomer, a Zoomer, or a millennial. It doesn't matter what you are. You ought to have Christ in you. You ought to have Him showing up in your life. People should look at you and say what they said in Antioch. They're a little Christ. Don't go around telling people you go to church if you're going to go around and also approve of the things that they're doing. It bothers me. And I'm not trying to like blast you guys or anything, but I just want to sit out as a warning. Don't do these things. Don't do those things because that drives doubt into other people's life. Or do I really want to be a Christian? So, really, when it comes down to being a Christian, it's more than just saying I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CHRIST. It's more than just spelling out the name. You have to act it. You have to walk the walk. Don't be like those hypocrites.
I've said it a couple times to the girls in our group chat, but I just really think that this quarantine time, this time of being like kind of in solitude, is such a good time for just self-reflection. And I just don't want anybody to miss that opportunity to like ask God, what do you want me to do different? What can I do to be closer? What can I do to serve you better, to make a difference? And I just think that that's a question I want everybody to take away from today is like, just go to God and ask Him, what are you trying to show me through this? Because He has a purpose for it and He can use it. So it's just been on my heart a lot.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, just to, everybody said their favorite day. Mine was today's, the last day. It was about ultimate doubt in God. And as bad as that sounds, I'm sure it happens to a lot of people that pray and ask Him stuff. And it was talking about not only being honest with God about the things that you're doubting, but also being vulnerable to accept and hear from Him and the answers that He has for you. And that kind of shined a little light on my own life because even with people around me, I'm not, and my wife can attest to this, I'm not a big feeling sharer. Or in any kind of problem that I have, like I'm not one to go to somebody and yes, I might tell them something that I'm going through, but I might not open up to anything that they might say that could help me. I don't like to make myself vulnerable. Sometimes even with her, I might tell her some things, but there's not much that there's nothing I don't tell her, but still like I still struggle sometimes even being vulnerable with her and having her help me get through something that I might be going through, and you know, that naturally just transitions to the spiritual realm too. I may, you know, take things and concerns that I have to God and say, God, you know, help me with this, but unless I am opening myself up to hear what he's going to say or respond to me, it's not really doing any good. And it's ultimately it made me think, am I doubting that he can actually answer these prayers? You know, his word says, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door shall be open. You know, the first part of those is you've got to take that action to ask, but then you've also got to take an action to be able to receive. And and that's where, you know, breaking down the walls that you have put up, or you know, opening yourself up, making yourself vulnerable, that's the key to really hearing from God, and that's when you'll see, you know, changes start to come in your life.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, we're kind of really low on time, but
I had some people comment on there, but I can't see it.
I'll see if there's any questions that y'all have, and hey guys, what's up? Anything in there? Nope.
It's no sauerkraut. You didn't need it.
No, I didn't need any sauerkraut. Nope, there's no questions here. Did y'all get any questions or anything?
No.
Text? Well, we no text on, no questions on YouTube either, so we'll just kind of leave it out there with this. Read this devotional coming up. It's going to be, it's going to take us through to next Wednesday, past Wednesday. And if you have any questions, like, feel free to text us. And if you want them to answer it on here, we'll answer them. If you want us to message you back privately, we can do that too. If you guys want to be like Ethan and kind of join us, message us.
We're supposed to do a Zoom sometime soon.
We are supposed to do a Zoom sometime soon. That's right. Zoom sometime soon.
I was thinking the same thing.
So maybe we'll get that up. Maybe we'll get that up in a few weeks. But if we have that kind of time. But remember, just real quick announcements. For those who are watching, next week they are doing Drive-In Church here on Wednesday. But we're still going to be doing this live stream. We're still going to do this live stream. You may hear an occasional honk in the background, but don't worry about it. We're still gonna be out here. We're still gonna do this for the youth, and you know, maybe next week. I was thinking, I ain't gonna tell y'all. I'll tell them now. But we might play a game. We might do another game. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll do some kind of game, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll do something.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they need payback on me. Tofu was not that bad. I've had raw tofu
It's
before.
the
It's not.
texture.
Yeah, not knowing what it was.
Gotcha. All right. So they might need to want to do some payback on me. I might have to let them do something. So if you have any ideas in that way too, games or stuff you want them to see them do to me, message us. Let us know. We got a TikTok. Hey, still don't know how to work it, but we got one. So yeah. That's all I have. And you guys have
Do you
anything?
want to get on with the girls?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if Crystal is on still. I don't know if she's on.
If you have TikToks that you want us to try,
Yeah, send them to us.
We'll attempt them.
And we'll try them
I
live
can't
too.
say they're gonna be good,
Nope.
but
Crystal's not on.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Well, Crystal, anyone else watching that wants to join us?
shout out.
Don't give that
Don't
opportunity right now.
Yeah, I'm not doing that
At the
now.
very
All right, message us back.
Just cut it off
YouTube,
and say that
Instagram, text message, whatever you want to do. Snapchat us. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. Well, don't Snapchat Brianna because she will never get it.
Yes, she will.
No,
now.
I will. I got it last night.
We could do it.
So, all right, guys. I'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next week, if not before. Just
Love
keep
y'all, miss
keep
y'all.
us in your prayers. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.